know it's a little early. Since I've gotten older, I find that I am always early, never late. But because that's something I think you learn. Well, first of all, I also don't have all my kids to take care of. Makes a big difference. Anyway, greetings. I'm going to be thanking those that will be joining me this evening, and also thank you for watching for the replay crowd, as they refer to you guys here on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. If you are listening to this, it's because you are a light worker. Okay. Because you are definitely somebody, you have made a contract with God or whomever your higher power is to come here and to do the best that you can do for so many. So I also refer to the light workers as the black sheep. The black sheep, you'll understand it without me even explaining. Hello, Miss Dawn. Merry Christmas. I'm explaining, like, again, the black sheep. You guys, I find now when people say, oh, are you a Christian? I say, I'm a light worker. Yeah, it's a type of Christian. I'm a light worker. And it is somebody who is, I'm very spiritual. Hello, Miss Renee. Yeah, so I am. I'm very spiritual. And welcome, ladies, sisters. Is your mom going to join us too? Hello, Miss Kim. You guys, if you have any questions too, I'm going to try to do that tonight. I will try to answer something. But anyway, and this is for you guys and for everybody watching this. If you are watching it and you stay watching to the end, you're definitely a light worker. And you guys, we do not have easy lives. And we're going to kind of talk about something tonight. Because as a light worker, we can take care of ourselves, of course. But sometimes, and kindness is key. Very, very important. But, you have to remember there are some people, and I'm just going off of what others have said, like Ellen. Okay, so leave that there for a minute because we're going to go back and touch on kindness and the light worker. But the light worker, yeah, we've had very difficult lives, very difficult. And why? Because we're in school. This is school. So everything you have learned, every lesson you have learned is valuable. And the worst lessons are the biggest keys to what you should be doing with your life, with your future. They're the biggest keys. Because as you know, you don't really experience something until you go through it. That's why I know some people may disagree. Some may disagree. But with having a child, I know there's like all these medical professionals that are in the room with you and go through the labor and this and that. And there's people who are with you, take care of you. And oh, yeah. Oh, I know how it feels. But you don't really, unless you birth a child. That's why I kind of get, when men start making comments and stuff, I'm always like, you know what? There's two things with that, with the men thing. Of course, I feel that as women, we need to stand up and get rid of those mammograms and get something else in their place, whether it's ultrasound or I believe it's MRIs. But the MRIs are so expensive. But my thing is, I don't know if I could say this on YouTube, but you know what? I will go and have a mammogram when a man's going to go and have his thing squished like a pancake. And my last mammogram that I went through, actually, I had implants, popped my implants. Yes, it did. And they tell you, oh, that'll never happen. Not true. And that's a whole nother story, which I will share one day when I have 5 hours. But anyway, so the whole point of that is, oh my gosh, going back, it just takes me back to those days. But anyway, it's like going through things. It is, that's why, but we're never alone when we go through these things. We're never alone. You're not alone ever when you're going through this stuff. You can say it aloud or mentally, call out Jesus, however you refer to your higher being, call out and say, help me. I call on Archangel Michael a lot, but he never lets me down. I can guarantee if you ask, like if you're having a bad day and you just want to feel like happy, you want to forget about everything, you just want to be happy, Archangel Michael, please help me. I give you permission to help me to feel happy. I just want to feel like happy. I don't want to be worried. I guarantee you, it helps. And the funny thing that I've noticed is I will be feeling so much better. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, by the way, I had a wonderful day. I'm sorry, Archangel Michael. Thank you. You're wonderful. So yeah, always say thanks. But hello, is that Adam? It's a pretty name. Anyway, so you guys, I'm asking for you guys to subscribe, to refer, and to message. They do look at messages here. So if you have questions or topics that you want, hello, Miss Jerry, or topics that you want covered, just give me a message right there on YouTube, okay? Can you believe the holidays are here? Oh my gosh, holidays are here. Okay, so I don't mean to keep saying but I will tell you this. So I almost was going to postpone this tonight, but I didn't want to, but I almost, because you know how some situations can make you exhausted. Again, life, it's school. So we go through everything. But I got to tell you, just because I'm kind, I'm not stupid. I'm just kind, right? And I am from Baltimore City, so I'm really not, if you like threaten me, that's not good to do. But I say that with love, of course. But no, but seriously, it's going back to kindness. And I want to stress this too with the holidays. It's the holidays. And sometimes that seems to be the worst time of year for people in kindness. And as you all know, and those who know me, I'm always talking about be kind, be kind, be kind. But then I hear stuff like about Ellen DeGeneres. I don't know if that's fact. I don't know. I've never met her. But from what other people have said, she's not nice. And they're saying, which I get this. I do get them. I'm not saying it's right, but I get it. But it seems like because she is gay, but I'm going to say because she was gay, and she was younger and growing up, it was very hard for her because hate crimes are horrific. And there's a lot of people, like you never forget. You never forget. And you shouldn't forget. You have to forgive. And why do you have to forgive? Do it for you. Does it sound selfish? Maybe. But you have to forgive because what we're going to be talking about too, breast cancer, I don't know why we are going to be, but that was part of my thing for tonight. If you carry things, okay, because most of us will go ahead and, oh my gosh, anybody hurts our children or our animals, we're there. And I'll say that like my Baltimore City girl comes out then. But if you do something to me or say something, I always say that hurt people, and a lot of times this is true. That somebody, they don't even know you. And like traffic with holidays, we talk about, I'm a light worker. You're asking if I'm a Christian. I say I'm a true Christian. I get my messages from God. I don't believe in judging others. I don't believe that God's there with a sphere and a whip and saying, you're going to be condemned to hell. No, I don't believe any of that stuff. And I believe that gay people are accepted. Everybody is accepted. It's good to be different. So if that's your definition of a Christian, then yeah, I guess I am. Anyway, to continue. So, being kind. What happens if you hold on to the anger? You can get breast cancer. And the person who told me that was Louise Hay. She wrote about it in her book, and I've seen in my practice, 100% accurate, 100% accurate. So for those of you who have been diagnosed previously with breast cancer, and for those of you who haven't, and this is men too, it's not just for women, get it off your chest. Get the toxic feelings, emotions, anger off. Get it off. You don't want it. You don't want to carry it. Because they even say, if after your breast cancer treatment, that should be one of your treatments, is constant reminder of just, you have to talk to somebody. If somebody is offensive to you, and that's what being kind thing is, it's going to bleed into that tonight. You have to talk to people and express how you feel. Okay? But if it goes, conversations go two ways. And if there's a person that will not let you express your feel, and do it when you're expressing your feelings, don't get angry, don't curse, don't yell. Because you guys, a lot of times our tone is bad, or it's harsh, not bad, it's harsh. We don't think that we're sounding that way. And the best way to do it is record yourself when you're having a conversation with someone. And you may be like, oh my gosh. And if you have a mate, oh, I'm not yelling at you. Record. And then this way you can play it back. And of course, we'll be like, oh, that wasn't me. Who was it? The little jolly elf guy that's been hiding in the house till Christmas? Come on. But years ago, I was doing this work, and I wrote to Louise Hay. And I love my dear father. He has since passed, but he was an alcoholic, and I don't know. He says his life was over when my mom died. And I mean, we were little kids when she died. She died in 1969. So, I mean, I was just getting ready to turn 8. I was almost 8 when she died, because my birthday's in August. So, and I'll never forget, I cried to him one day because he's like, you don't understand what it's like to lose a spouse. Why would I? I'm 10 when I was having this conversation, right? And I go, well, but I lost my mom. And I got smacked across the face for that. He got up and he smacked me as hard as he could across my face because I was disrespectful and I didn't understand. So that was just an example of the kind of relationship that I had with him. Now, when he was nice to me, he used to tell me about my great-grandma. And I'd heard from other family members, my great-grandma, they said I more than likely got the gift from her, that she was known as the town witch, and she was really good, and she went to people, she did readings back in those days, because this is my great-grandmother, right? And I feel her around me. I definitely feel her around me a lot. But yeah, he would share that with me too. But it was only when it was just him and I, nobody else. Or maybe if my kids were little, maybe he would have said something. But anyway, it was the holidays. I didn't want to go. I did not want to go. I was doing this kind of work. And you guys, when you're working on yourself spiritually, and when you're a light worker, You're a light worker. You are connected very strong. That's why I'm saying, please get your faith in order. Please get your faith in order, because you do, for safety. Do it for at least safety, okay? But I mean, ever since I was little, I've had, a conversation. God, that they've just always been my family. I've always felt like the black sheep, and like God was my father. Jesus was my brother. That's really how I felt like growing up. I really had and have a very close relationship. But it was just, I didn't want to be around sorry, I kind of get deep. I'm like, when you are on the spiritual path, and as you know, for those of you that are clairvoyant, when we talk about things, we go there. We are there. But anyway, but on the spiritual path, when you're very intuitive, your psychic ability, your feelings, you're an empath. You're an empath. And once you accept yourself for who you are and you work on your sixth sense and accept it and work on it, then the life as you knew it before, it's never going to be like that again. It's not. I'm just so accustomed to like people just saying like the meanest things to me, like as a kid, the meanest things. And it's like, well, and even as an adult, in my younger days, even as an adult, but just thinking, well, I'm sure they have problems, this and that. And I didn't take it personally. But still, it's with your own family. It's like, come on, enough's enough. So I write to Louise Hay. It's the holidays. And I said to her, I said, I love my family, but I'm not comfortable going to the events or to the holidays. I said, because my father starts making fun of me in front of everyone. Now, the rest of my family would be like, come on, Dad, stop. But he like wouldn't stop. And, and I would just sit there and just tune him out, but it hurt my feelings. And then like when I went over to his place, he had a assisted living place in Towson. The cleaning lady there like knew Frank. Frank was her buddy and this and that. And she says to me, who are you? Thinking I'm like his girlfriend. I go, I'm his daughter? Wow. Nuh-uh. You're really his daughter? I go, yeah, I'm his daughter. Huh. Well, he never mentioned having a daughter. He mentioned his sons, and then she went into what, my brothers did for livings and stuff. But he never mentioned a daughter. Because the only thing he would ever say, my greatest claim to fame would be, I had kids. But I was also 20 years old when I had my first child. But anyway, but I'd had enough. I was like, it's supposed to be a time where it's joyful. And like, and every day, you guys, you got to admit, every day in life, you're always trying to pick yourself up, make yourself happy, fit in the world, fit in with others, help others, survive. But you want to be happy. You want to be more than survival. You want to be happy. So I'm writing this stuff to Louise Hay in an email, not expecting to get a response. She answered me personally within like 2 days. You guys, what she said to me? She kind of reprimanded me. She's older. She's probably about my mom's age, I'm going to say. But she reprimanded me. She said, why are you going then? If they weren't your family, you wouldn't be going to the outing, right? And she's like, why do you like allow yourself to be a victim? Or to be a martyr in that case. She says, no, this is what you do. If it hurts you, you've got a right to your feelings. So stay away. Just stay away. Tell the family, look, I want to take care of some issues. Nothing personal. And stay away. She said, I guarantee you, because I have a close divine relationship with my divine family. So she's like, with those relationships, the divine relationships, just keep working on yourself. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing good things for other people. So she's like, but you need to know, the good things about you. Don't. She said, now you will start to heal. And then when you go back, they can say anything to you and you won't be fazed. You won't be fazed at all. So that's what I did. And I know the last thing that I said to my father, I thanked him. I said, because without you, I never would have learned as much as I have learned. And he was wonderful with kids, other kids. He could be really nice and everything. He just couldn't be like a dad who's going to take care of kids, He was like a good uncle, so to speak. But, yeah. And he was telling like everybody that I had thanked him for this. He was very proud of that. But I never saw him again, except for when he passed. On Christmas, of course my father would have to be theatrical. God love him. But he did. He passed on Christmas. And you guys pay attention to this kind of stuff if it happens to you. Christmas morning, get up with the kids. They do their gifts. And I wanted to go make breakfast, obviously, because I had everything ready, But I felt so incredibly tired. And it's the kind of tired, like, if you're going to have like a surgery or an operation, they give you medicine, right? Before that, and you're like drugged. That's kind of tired. That's the kind of tired when you're going to get divine messages. That's the kind of tired how you will feel. Oh, yes. So, I was like, please, you guys, do you mind? I'm so tired. And they're like, no, Mom, go. I go into the room at 9:15. I started to fall asleep. I was in the REM state. And voila, there's my father. My father appeared. You guys, what's interesting is when this stuff happens to us, at least I know for me, I knew what was happening. And he didn't say anything. He just looked at me and just kind of like, it was love. I felt love emanating from him. But of course, with my weird sense of humor, I was like, I'm sorry that you have to leave so early. And it's all telepathy, right? I'm sorry that you have to leave so early, but the little bit of time we had, I wish we could have had better times, longer times. And I love you. And then like he just went like that. And then I wake up and it's 9:30 and I felt like rejuvenated. Crazy thing is, I didn't think anything more about what happened because I was busy. I have kids. I got to fix food and it's Christmas and we're getting ready to go places, So then we went over to my ex-husband Don's house and he's like, Janie, I got to tell you something pretty sad. Okay. He said, your father passed. And they said he passed around 9:20 this morning. Makes sense. That's when I saw him. So you see, we are all connected. Everything happens for a reason. Like you can't take things personally, right? But recognize this is school. This is school. But I still recommend, I am in a situation right now with someone I care about very much. And sometimes if there is an illness or I don't want to go into sometimes with some people you can't have a conversation because it just goes south. Like if you're on the phone, if you say something that person doesn't like, bang, the phone gets slammed. Back in the old days. Now it's just click. Yeah. Because with some people, you can't say how you feel. But they will tell you what they need, what they want, and how they've been through so much pain, and talk about their boundaries. But you are not allowed to have any boundaries. You're not allowed to have any feelings. You just have to me, I call it punching. It feels like somebody's, like this person is constantly punching at me. Because, then all of a sudden, the name calling, blah, 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 blah. And again, that happens for reasons, like, lots of times. And again, it is always because there's a bigger issue at hand. But with situations like that, the best thing I can recommend too is if you have somebody and you can't talk to them, don't give up on that person. Do not take it personally. Do not take anybody's stuff inside. Don't. Especially if you know that you've got a clear conscience and haven't done anything to be offensive or whatever. I mean, because you guys, here's the thing too. I love our kids, right? Love the kids. But it's like, sometimes like, well, when I was 8, what? You didn't come buy ice cream. Wow. I mean, I'm using that as like, but still. But anyway, the biggest thing is continue to be kind, but don't let people punch you. Don't be taken advantage of. We are kind people. We're not weak. We're not fools. But don't fight everybody though either. Use your intuition. Use your intuition. But on that note, you guys, and I did want to talk about, I still want to talk about The Secret. So, if you guys could kind of, get up to date on The Secret, and then that movie, Little Miss Sunshine. And the person that's in particular in Little Miss Sunshine is the stepson. Because it's kindness and positive thinking. Yes, positive thinking all the way. And it's true. You smile, you're telling your brain, hey, she's happy. Good. That's good. Do it that way. But you're also human. You're not going to be able to do that every day. You have feelings. You have emotions. You are a spiritual being in a body on earth. So you just don't ignore your feelings, and don't let anybody ever make you feel like you're less than. Never. And if somebody is abusive towards you and lays hands on, do not partake in that. Do not. I know it's hard. I know for me, coming from Baltimore City, it's really hard. But it's on a serious thing. Well, that was kind of serious. But don't take things personally, but just don't continue to participate, because some people have to live in a lot of drama. And no, don't get involved in that. Just be you. Be your wonderful self, your wonderful light-working self. And get ready. Next year is a 1 year, or this year coming up is a 1 year. 1 year brand new beginnings. So if relationships, because this is a 9-year, relationships, even if they are new, let it go. Really quick too, relationships. I want to touch on that very quickly. With the relationship, people like challenges. Now the men might go, oh, that's not true. It's so true. People like challenges. But don't be the mate who's the one who gives up everything for the mate. They end up taking advantage, and that's male or female, will end up taking advantage of you. And then you know what happens? I guarantee you this, guarantee. Somebody else comes into the picture who's, some might go, excuse my language, oh, she's a bitch, ooh. But you know what? She'll be the one to get the guy. And you're going to be standing there going, oh, I did everything for him. Exactly. You did everything for him, especially the things he should have done for you. So that is huge. Please go into the new year. Be a bitch. I'm sorry. I'll probably get kicked off of YouTube for that, but I don't really care because that's true. I love my ex-husband, Bill, my first ex-husband. And he was Greek. He is Greek. Grew up in physical, in violence where the man is in control. And you put your woman in her place. So we had some issues like that in the beginning. And this is why I say too, people can change. He's changed. And I know I've changed. So don't listen to, can't change stripes or spots or that's not true. People can change. But don't pay attention to the person though, who keeps hurting you over and over and over. No. Because again, you want that mate to stay with you, but you keep giving the chances, because we've been together for a year, 2 years, 5 years, and I don't want to let that go. Why lose even more time in a relationship that if you have somebody come in and she doesn't put up with the stuff that you put up with, he will leave with her. Then you don't get him. So don't. You have to love yourself first, ladies. Love yourself. Men too. But since I'm female, I'm speaking to the women. Have to love yourself first. It's imperative. And this I will give the men credit for. Back in the old days, because I love surveys. I love what people are thinking and stuff. And back in the day, oh my gosh, like Playboy was really big because Hugh Hefner was still alive and he used to have I don't know, about his bunnies or something, Anyway, what was that called? Anyway. Oh, I've been told that about Barbara. Anyway, so am I so in love with my ex-husband? Oh, I love him. We get along. Yeah, I've known him for all my life. And his parents were like my parents, to answer that question. But anyway, what was I going to say? I got totally distracted by somebody asking if I'm still in love with my ex-husband. Anyway, so, gosh, what was I saying? What was I talking about? It was about romance. It's about not putting up with stuff. You guys, if you want to give me a heads up on what's going over my 30 minutes. Anyway, what I want you to do is, and I'll tell you, my ex-husband, because of everything that happened, I learned in that relationship, because I was miss cooking dinner all the time. I was even making homemade tomato sauce, right? Homemade tomato. I'm going to leave on this note. Homemade tomato sauce, right? He's picking his parents up from Greece. I'm home cooking. 2 babies, homemade sauce. God love him. His friend Leon was repairing our house. So of course, it was hey, stay for dinner too, Well, what happens? I get distracted with one of my children because the one was just a baby. And I go to get her. Well, the sauce burned. So it's oh my gosh. So I said, Leon, what am I going to do? He goes, I got it. Thank God. I lived at the time on Frankfurt Avenue in Baltimore City, and there was a supermarket right across the street. He ran over and he got me some ragu, right? So he said, now you just don't say anything. Okay. So I go ahead. He bought 3 things of ragu. I poured them in. He says he took the bags out to the trash outside. And do you know what my ex-husband said? Or my husband said at the time? This is the best sauce you've ever made. You believe that? I just said thanks. Couldn't believe it. Because making sauce is kind of complicated. But anyway, so you guys, you still have time for gift certificates. And I have been giving special prices on the gift certificates because I know that it's really hard with the economy and everything. So you still have time for that. If you want to schedule your session, you You can text me or send me an email to janiedaly@gmail.com. My email is on this YouTube page. And what else? Or Facebook Messenger. You can reach me there too, but not the other applications because I don't like Snapchat and Threads and Lemon and no, no, no. That's all I can say. But on that note, love you all. Thank you for being you. I appreciate you listening. And, I hope I was able to teach you something. And I'm hoping that you're happy. And don't give up. Never, never give up. And no, you are never, ever alone. And remember, if I get messages, and I'm going to reach out to you. But love you guys. And we will chat soon. All right. Bye. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.